as I dig deeper and I find more truth and I research more historically, as well as what's going on today in our world in the context of it, which takes you back, and then eventually you go all the way back to, like around the start of civilization, when you keep digging, right? Like you keep pulling at this rope, and the rope just keeps going and going and going. So as I research and as I study, what I'm finding is that a lot of what we're taught is to, for one, a lot of the way and the style in which we're taught, especially here in America, I can speak from that, in our public school system and even the private school system, doesn't even matter. What we're taught is we're taught to obey, we're taught to listen, we're taught to take orders, directions, all the way from the beginning. You're taught, raise your hand when you want to go to the bathroom, ask when you want to do this. You need a hall pass to travel around. You got 2 minutes in the hallway in between classes. All these things, you got to go to the bathroom. You got to go to the restroom, but you got to ask, right? You're hungry. You got to ask for your snack, or you got to wait for snack time. So you learn again to obey, to get in line. And we know that schooling or Schuling comes from the German thought and the German idea. So we've been taught our structure and infrastructure set up by Henry Ford, assistance of Rockefeller and others who had their hand in the making and the framework of the education system, all the way up until the university and what's called the higher education level, that they've been able to structure the collegiate system and how to be a scholar and things like this. All these things have been mapped out, as we know. But what you have to see is that all these things have been mapped out and structured to actually keep man within a certain construct, to keep you from thinking outside of it. So once you understand it by studying it and you see the fence that was built around you, what you start to see is that this schooling has taught you essentially how to stay within a box and to not think outside of it. So once you venture outside of the box and you begin to actually critically think as a human being in your full capacity, and you start to break different things down, you'll be able to see the parallels between history and the stories and institutions of religion and things like and then also civics and government, politics, and then all industries and in economics, as well as commerce, we'll say. So what you find, and what I found, I'll tell you, is that I found that you have good, evil, you have light, dark. You got the beginning, it's a creator, and this is according to scriptures, historical reference, and records. You have a creator, single. You have a maker, or one that forms in the earth, ideas. And then you have what is PseudoCreation, which is you have a evil, essentially an evil entity, a darkness, right? That which is absent or cut off from that which is pure or righteous or original, or of the essence of creation, which is creator or the original life force. That which is cut off from it, or evil, essentially can only create from what has already been created. So what it does, what that evil does, is it pulls you outside of yourself. So it gets you to not be human, essentially. And being human means that you are operating from within. You're operating from your core out, not from out in. So the flip and the twist, we're educated to pay attention out, and that's why you're entertained. You watch your favorite show, you watch your favorite sports team, you follow your favorite athlete, you follow your 20 favorite people on Twitter, you watch TikTok, you love dancing, you love to go and watch movies, you love this, and then when you're not doing that, you're working. So you're being bogged down and your energy is being sucked out by the system, right? And then you don't have enough energy to do any actual critical thinking and think outside. And you've been educated for however many years, most like at least 13 years that you're formally educated. And then if you graduate into another level of education, then you're further educated outside of your humanity. And you're educated outside of your humanity, and now you're fighting against that which you have been educated of, so that which you have developed belief in. So you now have a belief system in this style of education, which is a style of thinking, which is not thinking at all, but instead being entertained by information and then regurgitating or repeating it. So you learn to be a professional student, and now everything else in society supports this same learning style and habit, You see, you watch the television, you watch the screen on your laptop, you watch the screen on your cellular phone or your mobile phone or your device or your iPad or whatever it is that you watch your stuff with, so that you can be pacified. When you're not doing that, you go and you do whatever it is you're doing. So all of this stuff works to keep you occupied within a fence in a box, so that what's really happening and what's really going on, which is truly evil, is actually running the world, right? That's what's really going on. But you don't have enough time to think or care, or let alone, like, I mean, you absolutely will not address it, because you don't even have enough energy to care about it, literally, right? Because you're tired from work, and you're tired from everything else that you want to do when you're not working, because you really don't want to work. So you need stuff to put in your schedule to pacify you too, so that you can justify you living like a slave and working and not even seeing any sort of fruits of your labor, other than maybe a house or a couple of houses to pass on to the next generation. For what? So that they can do the same thing and have to work even harder to keep the same thing maintained. The trick: man can't take anything with him. The thing is, we live off the land. It was said in the scriptures that man would live by the sweat of his brow, right? Period. So the whole idea of you having excess and abundance there where you would never have to work again is an idea that's foreign from nature. It doesn't exist. You will always have to work the land in order to eat. You put a seed into the ground produces a tree, which produces fruit, or produces a plant, a seed-bearing plant, and you get to consume it, and the seeds bring forth more. But the idea of having these storehouses of things so that you never have to work is something that comes from the pseudo-creator. It's not a true idea. It's not a part of nature as it really stands. So, I know I've said a lot here, but I just wanted to give this mental exercise here, so that we can critically think again as human beings. I hope this helps. I'm gonna be dropping more stuff, as I always do.